Don't forget to use code KaiGoHigh in the Fortnite and Rocket League item shops. Hey there everyone, it's KaiGoHigh here. Today we're going to be taking a quick look at a simple and effective way to jail, evacuate, and repair the shelters. There was a previous method I was using where it uses a box on top of the shelter, and that way doesn't seem to be working too effectively anymore. Something seemed to have changed with the Husk AI where there's more assassin husks in the first wave, and two, if they are unable to reach you, they seem to just despawn, which will cause a smasher or a mini boss or propanes to spawn, which can really be a headache if you're trying to jail it. But I discovered a kind of a new way to, not really a super new way, it's more of a modified way to jail it, and it seems to work fairly well. So the team is going to be Power Base Penny or Power Base Kyle or Power Base Nox, whoever has power modulation that you want to use. Structures affected by base are healed for 11% of max health every 10 seconds. Recycling's a team perk. You can use pretty much whatever you want, but recycling makes the most sense for a jail build just so you can get mats back. Mega Base Kyle. You can get by without Mega Base Kyle, but if you have them, I recommend using them just to ensure that if a spawn is on each side, and you have to make two jails, that the base will actually reach all four corners of the two jails. So Lofty Architecture, very important. Base increases building health by 28%. Hot Fix or Hazard, kind of important. Increases building repair speed by 10%. You can get by without them, but I recommend having them. Gadgeteer, Undercover Buzz, decreases gadget cooldown by 20%. And then finally, Faster Explosions, Demolitionist Penny, increases launcher damage by 17%. That's really just for clearing out all the husks at the beginning if you're doing like a 160 4-player mission by yourself. It kind of comes in handy, but other than that, you don't really need. The core of the team is really Lofty Architecture, Hot Fix, and Power Modulation. And then Mega Base helps, Gadgeteer helps, and Faster Explosion helps. But you can swap those out however you see fit. Gadgets are Slow Field and Banner, of course. But we're going to go ahead and jump into it. There's a 160 today, 4-player Evacuate the Shelter. This build does work with 4-player missions, but I'm not going to do this one just because it's in Tropical and it's been spawning in the wall. Or it's been like a really weird spawn where you can't put a box around it. So we're just going to do the standard Evacuate the Shelter and see how it rolls. So I will catch you once I clear everything out. Alright, so we've lit it in, cleared out all the husks and all the stone and trees around the shelter. And we have a spawn here that's coming from just pretty much the west and the southwest. But it's kind of split. Some of them are on a tile up, some of them are on ground level for this. So this is going to make it a little more complicated, which is kind of good because most spawns are split, so you get to see, how we're going to handle that. So first we want to start off with just single tile high. It's a lightning storm, so we're going to use stone. Single tile high, tier 3 stone, or whatever material you need for the mission around the shelter. So let's go ahead and build that and upgrade it. Okay, so now we need to build the paths to the jails and the jails. So it looks like we're going to need probably, let's try to do one and force them all to come down here. So first we're just going to do this. Actually, we're not going to do this stair. We're going to get rid of this one. Just going to give them a nice path to walk down and then block this off. They might still come this way, and if so, then we'll have to lead them to the stairs. But hopefully this will deter them enough to just walk down to the path of least resistance. So we're going to go with 3 tile high stair, and then we're going to build a jail on the back of it. We're going to upgrade this all the way. Tier 3. Okay, now that that's done, we're going to upgrade the stairs. And then we're going to edit the stairs, because what we don't want is them walking up the stairs and falling off straight into the shelter. But you want to put the jail close enough to the shelter that it's still towards their primary objective, right? So you could have scooted this up 1 tile and started the stairs right here. and then gone up to the jail. Either way is fine. I just put it closer to the spawn. And then we're going to edit the stairs. Actually, the first one can stay like this. Then we're going to edit the rest of the stairs one tile wide, like that. Okay. Get rid of these spawns. And then we're going to put our base on the back of this box. So you can upgrade your base floor if you want. You don't have to. If you want to be a little stingier on mats, that's your prerogative. Underneath the jail, we're going to connect base to the shelter barrier with just one tile. You don't have to upgrade that. So altogether, this build's pretty mad efficient. It doesn't cover the entire back of the shelter, but they're not really going to be pathing that way. They're going to be coming towards me. Most of the husks are assassin husks now for some reason, which this wasn't stated in like home base report. This is just my own speculation. That more are spawning as assassin husks, and you can test this for yourself. If you get into an area, like for instance, if I were to jump up here where there's no way for the husk to get me, and you just stand here, about 80% of the husks will despawn, and they'll just keep looping. After about 5 seconds they'll spawn, and they'll despawn until a smasher or a mini boss spawns and goes after the objective. So again, I'm not sure why or when exactly this change was made. It seems to have been this way for about the past week, because I used to do a different repair the shelter jail build where they had a box on top of the shelter, and they all fell inside, and they got stun locked in there. But that doesn't seem to be working. They're all despawning once they fall in the box. So this is a new method I've worked out, and it seems to work pretty well. Now, if we were to put another jail on the other side, for the second path, you would just want to connect it to the other jail that would be right here, and then move your base in between those two, and it should still connect to both of them. But we're not going to try that. This time we're just going to try to path them all into one box. So this might fail and, not be great. But like I said, it has 3 traps. You don't need any traps, really. Well, you need 1 trap for a not 4-person, and that is going to be a sound wall. So the sound walls I'm using are the same ones that I have perked for my Retrieve the Data jail builds. You do not need durability legendary perked on there. Like I stated in my other video, I did that because I was going to do the whole thing, but I decided to hold off to see if you really needed it and save the legendary perk. You can have blue perked durability 4 times, and then 1 times reload speed with legendary perked heals attached builds 4.8% of its max health every 10 seconds. So that's what we're going to want. We're going to put it on this wall that they're going to be beating on, because we're going to be standing on our base. So we're going to path them up the stairs first, and then kind of jump over here, and then they're all going to jump in the box. On the back of the wall, for a 4-person, you're going to want to put, just for safety, an increased building health wall spike. It doesn't have to be 130. It can be 77, as long as you have that 6th perk unlocked, not 3rd perk. And then finally, underneath the box, to keep them from falling out, we're going to put a zapper, ceiling zapper, that heals 4.8% of max health every 10 seconds on the bottom. So the reason we're using a zapper instead of a ceiling electric field or a drop trap is because if some reason some of the husks walk under here, the zapper trap will not hit them, because it only has a 1 tile down range, where the ceiling electric field has 2 tile down, and the ceiling drops have 3 tiles down. So, zapper trap that heals max build. The only thing you need to legendary perk is heals max build on the sound walls and the zapper trap, and then the wall spikes is just increased building health. But you could also use sound walls or anything like that have increased building health. It's just the most material efficient. Let's kill these propanes, because we do not want them getting in. There we go. Okay, the rest of them can come up here. That's fine. So let's kind of path all these guys down here. Some of them might go the top way, and then we're gonna lead them up here into this box. And you can see now that I've got knocked, some of them are going to despawn. And that's what I'm talking about the assassin husks there. Majority of them seem to despawn if you do not stay alive. So So now that we've got knocked once, they're all coming up. They're going to drop in the box. Now the mist monsters sometimes will jump in the box. The blasters sometimes will just beat on the bottom stairs the whole time. But they're not strong enough to break them. So you don't really have to worry about that. We got a couple stragglers back there that are just beating on these stairs. Again, one or two isn't going to be able to get through. We're worried about the bulk of them here being in the box. Let's go ahead and just throw a heal trap here. Alright, we got pretty much everybody in the box. No mini boss, no smashers. And then I will just go ahead and fast forward to the end so you can see how well the jail works throughout the whole process. And I will catch you in a minute. Alright, we're loaded back. You could see that went off without a hitch. It was pretty simple and straightforward. I do want to touch on the fact that it does only take about 1,220 mats for this build. So it's pretty efficient, and with recycling on, you get between 400 and 500 back. So that's, you know, the most cost-effective jail build that I've come across thus far that's at least pretty stable. You don't really have to worry about any of them getting into the shelter or anything like that, like some of the other ones I've seen. And even if this one happens to fail, you know, they drop through the bottom, you have a chance to rectify it. They're not going to fall right in the shelter. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the sound wall is very important that you don't use something else, because the sound wall does not add to the CC counter at this point, where, you know, some of the other traps would, like a wall light or a floor launcher for the heals builds attached or increased building health. All those would add to the CC counter, but the sound wall does not. So the one sound wall in there keeps the assassin husks engaged and keeps them from despawning when they can't reach you. So if you have any questions, please leave them below in the comments and let me know. If you want to see any other tutorials or, you know, things you want me to try out, please let me know. But that about wraps it up for this one, Commanders. You have a good one. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.